Slides.
What?
So I got slides right.
Yeah.
Were you guys cooking at all this year? Yeah, so for holidays, we usually close Thanksgiving, Christmas. And then, we'll run through the season and then we'll close it, in January. Actually, we're gonna run through.
But you guys are live and on YouTube.
Oh, you're
you.
live. Here from Greg.
Right, it is 3:09 on Tuesday, November the 25th. This is the Moab Tourism Advisory Board Special Event Marketing Grant Workshop. If we can just do a roll call of who's here right now. We have other people joining us online and who will be running late. So Wendell, the Vice Chair, Lori McFarland will be joining us via Zoom. She was a sick employee and couldn't make it. We have
Melissa Jeffers, Grand County staff.
Brian Martinez, Grand County Commissioner.
Stephen Stocks, Grand County Attorney. Alex Borchowski, Board Member.
Cora Phillips, Moab Chamber of Commerce, Board Member.
And so this is really we're not going to be making any motions. No, we're not voting on anything. We're getting everything together so that we can and will be able to make some progress on this at our next meeting in December. The purpose is we went from basically $20,000-ish for a special events grant to now $250,000, which was approved in the 2026 budget. And we want to make sure we do this right. Part of it was the reasoning is to try and get new and potentially bigger events and in the shoulder season and to try and kind of see if we can get some good stuff moving in town. And we have Madden also working on how we can promote this to get some other kind of big events to take notice of this, because they might not have had Moab on their radar, and this might give us the opportunity to be on their radar now. In terms of the agenda, I think the first workshop attachments, that was actually not, I think that was just an email thing to Dana. So that was not supposed to be in there. First one is actually review the online application. So what I'll do is just bring up Cora's Google Form. Let's do this.
And Susan, if there's anything that you see in there that looks like it's questionable, I'm sure you let us know.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, major things usually is just making sure it's circulated far and wide. And then just making sure that it's put out there and then everybody gets an opportunity. All the applications, when they come in, you guys will review them. You'll make a recommendation based on your scoring metrics, and then it'll be sent up to the commission, all the applications all together. I haven't seen anything in the past. We can't, of course, ask about any protected basis. You can't look to isolate individuals and not pick individuals based on their protected classes. So things like that, but I think in my initial scan of it, I think everything looked good so far. So I don't think there's going to be too much for me today, but I'm here to listen and answer questions.
So have you looked at the this?
Just a moment ago.
Okay. So for those of us who are in here, is there anything we need to add?
No, I thought that it was good
Yeah.
when we put it together.
And you might want to zoom into
Oops, sorry,
it.
yeah.
I'm just looking here. There's the e-approval, that was the one that needed to get added in. And then perfect, and then the spreadsheet from the budget, is that hooked in? That's hooked in as well. So those are the two things that I think from the last meeting that needed to get connected back up to the document.
Right, your spreadsheet that's like.
It's attached.
Right.
Yeah, it says here, so on that question, if you go down, what will the marketing funds be used for? Please attach a spreadsheet detailing marketing expenses, budget breakdown, must be in the format linked here. And the reason for that is that when I looked through Howard brought a stack of them, and then in that stack, we had so many different styles and trying to find and pick out, what we were looking for. I could just imagine us having 30 applications and having to go through and try to figure out how it all mixes and matches, especially for the financials. It would have been nice to have it all in one little sheet that we could just go, perfect, look, line by line, everything kind of matches up.
I think the grammar is a little fun here. How will the marketing grant funds be used?
What will,
Intended use of grant funds? What is your intent?
what will the,
You're talking about open the new window.
what will the marketing grants be used for?
This is the spreadsheet. If you click on the link, this is,
So you're posing that we just drop it
Yeah, I
down
mean,
to
it seems
what,
pretty obvious it's gonna be
or,
more,
and from how?
like, what are we trying to?
You,
find
you're,
out?
I think your question is from what to how?
Hmm?
From, you're basically saying from what to how will them?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, what will the marketing grants be used for? It's obviously marketing, so like, what do we want to find out from them?
Are you looking at campaigns? Are you looking
Yeah.
at print media,
Or just-
digital media?
Yeah,
Please
Seems-
attach the spreadsheet detailing marketing expenses.
Yeah.
Budget breakdown. Just delete it.
just, types of
I think
marketing.
just saying, how will the marketing funds be used? Or, yeah,
I mean, you guys can drill down this how specific you want,
but,
but
yeah, when I read that, like, that seems pretty obvious, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've changed it to read, how will the marketing funds be used? Question mark, please attach the spreadsheet detailing marketing expenses. Budget breakdown must be in the format linked here with that, for link to that.
Right.
That
So,
link
okay,
is on the
marketing
budget.
city, marketing state, type of marketing. Begin the months advertising and.
The letter of financial commitment. Is that what's the?
Should we look at the guidelines that we had previously? Move off to that, if you guys feel good about the application. Melissa, do you have any suggestions on the application?
No, just curious about what,
Curious about what?
no, just like the process and.
So, yeah, let me step back and go through the whole idea.
before we step off the application, get away from the application, can you go to event location? I just had a quick question. So when it says event location, do we assume that all of it will be within Grand County, or is it okay if they have like an anchor location and go out on different? Like that's the only question I had on event location, or is it only for events that are wholly contained within Grand County?
I think that it has to deal with the amount of spend that they're gonna be bringing to Grand County. I mean, they could in theory be having an airplane festival
Sure.
to where they all come in and stay at hotels, but every day they go and they fly to all these other different counties. That's totally fine. And I think that'll be in the criteria that we go into after the rules
Okay.
is what we're looking for in the criteria.
Okay.
And I think one of the,
At Bud Springs, they would all likely stay Moab, but they'd be technically in San Juan.
Mhm. And then as well, I do think that we should put the criteria inside of the guidelines. Just so that people know, I mean, it's helpful to know if you're applying for something like this, like, hey, do I have a good opportunity of actually getting this grant?
Okay. Any other thoughts on the application? I mean, it's pretty, and you want the guidelines you want where?
So, in the next little spot, we have the guidelines, and I don't know where. Yeah, no, there's the special event, grant guidelines, the ones that we had in 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that and the scoring criteria were really the two big reasons for this meeting right here. And then, so just to update Melissa on where we are on this process is so. There's a $250,000 grant that's going to be a marketing matching grant. Right, so if somebody comes in, and these are the questions that we're gonna have to answer is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? Is it, we need to make those guidelines right now of how the specifics of this grant are gonna go out.
Is there a mix that someone can export?
Exactly. do we have two separate tiers? Originally, when we talked about this, we had basically, let's say what it would be like a $10,000 tier. And then we would have maybe a $50,000 or $100,000 tier. And the idea for one of those larger, grants would be to attract maybe like a series of some sort of a concert series or a rodeo or something like that, just a major event that would basically happen throughout the year. Try to grab maybe a bigger promoter.
Was this worked on, was there a new version of this 2024 guidelines worked on? Was that in the Google Docs or that?
No, this is kind of where we're at right now, so
Okay.
that's,
Because there's a lot of, I mean, obviously a lot of this refers to the Economic Development Department.
yeah, and so we're gonna have to clean this up right
Yeah,
here.
that's.
And so, yeah, this is a big one to kind of take on, and that can be something that we can assign and bring back a revised version to the next one, but I guess we could go through and see what we want to keep really quickly and what.
Yeah,
Obviously the definitions, the goals, the purpose is gonna change.
Yeah.
And the purpose, you know. I've got some notes, you know, obviously we wanna revise that, and it's not the Economic Development Department anymore. And I don't think the funding is to be used to encourage quality of life for Grant County residents.
it's also not to produce,
What's that?
it's also not to produce.
No operational expenses.
Yeah, it's not operational, so it has it on here to promote, market and produce
Oh, yeah.
special events. So I think that we should take the and produce special events out. It should be to promote and market special events taking place in Grand County. And then the purpose of the goal or of the grant.
Is there something like that?
Have you guys thought about what you do want? Because it's gonna be really easy to go back and retrofit,
Yeah.
like what you want all this to be.
Yeah.
If you kind of already high level.
Yeah.
Know, what are some of our metrics? What are we looking for? What kinds of things would we like to see happen? Like, what do we want the bottom line to be?
I think we've pretty much got that we can revise and bring. You know, we can rewrite this, because it's, we've got it in notes and
Yeah.
we know what it's for,
Looking at that.
basically, yeah. But
So we
The-
can say we, you need to rewrite it.
what's that?
Who's rewriting it?
I'm happy to do it. And just bring it to you guys and, so, I mean, it's gonna be just easy, quick little paragraph to say what we think it's gonna be shaped as.
So going back to the conversations that we had at the MTAB board or the meeting, at least kind of where it started at. So when we started with trying to think of who was there, I believe it was myself, Cora, I believe you were there, and Wendell, you were there at the first special events meeting,
Yeah.
and then Sharon was there. So half Sharon, half Wendell.
You know,
When we went through there, we kind of made a list. And then, Howard, was he there or not? I can't remember. if he was
Yeah.
there or not. Either which way. So yeah, we
okay.
all kind of went through there and then we kind of set what the priorities were. Those were the priorities that we presented to the MTAB
Yeah.
board on that day. And are those still the priorities that we want to kind of like go or?
Yeah.
The ones I rattled off in the last meeting.
Yeah,
Let's see if I can.
And maybe, because I've got notes from that, you probably haven't too, maybe. or
yeah, my
maybe
notes are
Sharon,
actually in my
just
older book, so,
Sharon, and suppose I don't have them here,
yeah.
just talk with Sharon and.
It was off-season travel, so promoting off-season travel,
And bigger events.
bigger events. Wider variety of events, so not our classic. You know, going after the Jeep
Race.
run.
Okay,
Jeep
here we go.
run, yeah,
Let's see, this is the scoring criteria we were looking at, quality of proposed marketing strategy. Potential to increase overnight stays and evidence of local lodging partnership. Expected revenue and positive economic impact generated. Projects aimed at attracting more visitors during the shoulder season. How crucial is this grant funding to the
That's
success?
the next thing on our agenda, anyways, to review scoring, so why don't we
Yeah.
just go skip to that and see if
Sure.
we agree with the scoring criteria. And so
Yeah.
that's what that is. Strong community support and involvement. Quality proposed marketing strategy, potential to increase overnight stays and evidence of lodging partnership, expected revenue, positive economic impact generated, projects aimed at attracting more visitors during shoulder season. How crucial is this grant funding to the success of the proposed campaign, and how strong community support and involvement? Are there any other criteria scoring criteria? And are we doing a 1 to, also, are we doing a 1 to 5? How are we scoring? How do you want to score? And what are we putting the emphasis on? What's gonna be high, what's gonna get more? And who's gonna be on, obviously we can't decide today, but we need probably a committee that can go through them and then bring them to the board.
I think one of the recommendations I had as well is if we could wait until we had the 9th board member, we can add one more person onto that special committee, or onto that, subcommittee, and that would help out a lot, because I think this is gonna be a lot of work.
So how do we want to, is there
Let's say 1 to 5 with each of the
Yeah, I'd agree.
3, 4, 5, 6
Yeah.
components.
and do up 6 components? Do a 1 to 5 on each one of the 6. Yeah.
Okay.
And are we happy with those 6 components?
Yeah, one more time.
Certainly. Quality of proposed marketing strategy. Potential to increase overnight stays and evidence of local lodging partnership. Expected revenue and positive economic impact generated. Projects aimed at attracting more visitors during the shoulder season. How crucial is this grant funding to the success of the proposed campaign, and strong community support and involvement?
Can you read the second one again?
Potential to increase overnight stays and evidence of local lodging partnership. And as long as these match the questions, should be
You have 6,
correct. There's-
that 5 there.
Oh, projects aimed at attracting more visitors during the shoulder season. Do you have that one?
Got that,
How crucial is this grant funding to the success of the proposed campaign?
got that. The revenue,
Expected revenue and positive economic impact generated,
got that. Overnight stays I got, and then quality of
strong community support and involvement.
community support. Do we want to put anything in there for, hey Howard? Do we want to put anything in there for existing events?
Or we're doing the scoring guidelines right now, number
Okay.
3 on the agenda.
And so, and hear me out, what I'm thinking here is, yes, I think that part of the idea is that we're gonna bring new events in, but I do think that we'll also want to support existing events that are already here. And I'm just wondering if putting in a question here for them or some type of criteria for,
We ask, is this a new event?
Well,
On
but this
the
is like,
application.
but this is gonna be for the committee scoring.
this is the
right?
committee scoring.
Right.
So do we want to prioritize new events or do we want to, or does it not matter? It's just a question.
I was gonna suggest that the events that happen outside our busiest seasons should be scored higher to give them more support, because
Yeah,
they're taking an inherent risk of kind of doing things.
so you want to say that one more time for Howard, the scoring?
And that's included in that, projects aimed at attracting more visitors during the shoulder season.
So
It's
they
one
have
of the
it like,
criteria.
6.
Scoring.
six
Yeah.
different scoring criteria.
Oh, you want me to say them
Yeah,
again?
if you wouldn't mind.
Quality of proposed marketing strategy. Potential to increase overnight stays and evidence of local lodging partnership. Expected revenue and positive economic impact generated. Projects aimed at attracting more visitors during the shoulder season. And how crucial is this grant funding to the success of the proposed campaign? Strong community support and involvement. And my only concern is with that last bullet point, we don't have a question to really draw that out in the application.
I don't know if, well, community support, maybe it's, community involvement.
Unless it's the,
Well,
or
yeah.
like evidence of local law.
Participation maybe.
Particularly if it's a new event, how are you gonna have community support? Yes, if it's a new event, it's. not
So
hard,
like the women's festival.
You know,
I mean, I feel like that's a bit inherent in whatever their event is. You'd be able to decide like, well, is it an event that involves all tourists, or is it an event that involves the community, and then you would just score that based on what it is.
Oh, okay, you're thinking of like community involvement.
Yeah, whether it's like the free concert series, or it's
Okay.
one of the like running races
That,
where.
that sounds.
So it's like. I mean, I don't think you have to ask a question on the.
That sounds like a bonus.
That's fair.
Yeah,
The one that I have
inherent what it is.
a question on is how crucial are these funds for your event to happen?
So we ask a question on the application,
Will
will
they
the
have
event
it?
still occur if grant funds are not awarded?
that's one of the questions in the
So
application.
But my question is how does that get scored? Right, so do we think that an event that's so close on the ropes to making it
Right.
is a good event to bring in, or is that a bad event to bring in?
You know, like as they say, without the $25,000 grant, they won't come to Moab.
Exactly.
That's your point.
So, yeah, how does that affect the scoring?
Mhm.
I would like to leave it up to the individual scoring, if they can make a
Score.
decision, because like, if I'm choosing to come to Moab or Durango. And Moab's willing to give me money. But I posted my event in Durango in the past, I'm clear that the money is going to be what convinces me to come to Moab.
I think you're saying as a scoring committee, like whoever that subcommittee is, that, or additionally, how are they going to prioritize or make that, if it's not gonna, if they don't get this 25,000.
Yeah.
They can apply for it.
I think that,
And what I'm really looking
I
for,
don't know,
I just want to make sure that the transparency is there
Yeah.
for the public, so that they know that when they're applying, right, that if they say this, that they're not gonna get. They're not gonna get basically demerits for one way or the other. I just want it to be
we could also
clear.
speak to that at one of our next meetings, addressing like when we set up the committee for
Yeah.
the special events grant, it's like how the scoring criteria is going to be judged.
Mhm.
Actually, just walking through those questions and discussing whether things are gonna be good or bad.
Are you guys only taking in applications, or do you respond to RFPs for events that you want? Or things that you want to be here, because $200,000 is a really great incentive for some of the larger events that we would actually want when they put out an RFP. Or, for us to be able to throw our hat in the ring and say we do have matching dollars. I just didn't know, like, is this, you want applications only, or is this something where you also want to use that money to respond to RFPs for events that you would like to see happen here?
That's what Madden was gonna try and come
Yeah.
up with.
Yeah,
If that's
as
what
Madden and
part of their
Camp
success.
Stories, we're gonna go ahead and try to cast the net out and talk to some folks and spread and advertise this grant. That's kind of what we were hoping.
But does the county get RFP for
There are so many events where, where do we have the, Lululemon Yoga Festival this year? And then, everyone kind of submits their RFP process, and matching dollars for marketing is one of the criteria, like.
I mean, do they respond to those RFPs or not?
That would be like the tourism department, and I don't know. But if
No.
not, I mean, it's definitely something worth,
Yeah,
cause you've got people that you may say, hey, we're interested in healthy lifestyle, active outdoor recreation, whatever, and you kind of have your wish list of these are the things that would be really appealing to us. And we've got a built-in human infrastructure that most places don't have. We do have access hotel capacity that's outsized.
so we have to, somebody like that typically send that request to that RFP, like it right now in the county, would that go to?
We
the
could do a
website?
search, we could say, hey, we are interested in, what are these types of companies or these types of brands, like if it's outdoor lifestyle.
Okay, so that's what
Clothing
Matt- is that what
activities.
Camp Stories and Matt are doing right now?
I'm
Or
not sure. I think that they're more looking at how they're gonna market these.
You guys just have a lot of pull on something like that because we have forget the beauty. I mean, the fact that you can't duplicate the national parks that we're surrounded by in the public lands and whatever, but we also have hotel capacity and hospitality capacity, food and beverage, like all of those things. So you're already really competitive on paper. But having matching funds for marketing dollars, a lot of places can't throw in for that because they don't have those kinds of funds and that kind of budget, and this is kind of a way to sweeten the pot to get the big things that you do want, you know, like brewing festivals and, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is for your group, like you guys would have to talk about, this is what it is for us, but like the, you know, the Portland Food and Wine Festival, the whatever, what are kind of the festivals or the, you know, the big events that you're interested in? I just didn't know if you guys want this to be only application based, or if you also wanted to use those dollars to seed.
we want to cast it wide,
Yeah,
you know, not just inbound. I mean, however we can hear about it, whether it's us going out there or Matt or whoever. The application is however you've heard about it, you know, you
Got it.
still have to, the application is basically, we don't care how you heard about it. And if it was an RFP thing, then yeah, absolutely we can. And if we have matching funds, and absolutely, it's gonna bring some good stuff in, particularly in the shoulder season. Thank you for that. That's a great idea.
yeah.
No, I
You
just,
talk about dynamic matching, you know, if it's a new grant, maybe give them more money than you, the 50-50. You know, that's kind of a nice lure to get new events here first time around.
Yeah.
Give them a little more. Not all of it, a percentage, it's at least 50-50, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe 60-40 for a new event, I don't know.
Like a brand new event, one time
Yeah.
only.
Well, just if they're, you know, taking a risk and, you know, maybe they're, you know, there's a risk involved, you have a little more to establish it. And if it's successful, they come back the following year, we just dial back on that amount.
Right.
Just to kind of encourage creativity, because you know, first time events are gonna have limited funding because they haven't had any participation, so they're the ones that you wanna kind of almost seed, if you know what I mean. And if they're successful, great.
So how do we determine that in a official capacity? Not today, obviously, but what do we, I mean, we're saying matching, but you're saying.
I think that we should come up with a list of rules and bring that to the next MTAB meeting so that it can be voted on.
Yeah.
And be ready to go. So any other guidelines or any of these
That's at the
details?
discretion of the board, more
Yeah.
than likely with the board would decide, you know, if they ask. For compensation, that's something we can consider based on what their numbers are, maybe gonna be looking at what the ROI is.
So we'll finish off the goal and purpose. Do we need the definition? Or is that it is an event is defined as a period of time specific purpose or not, does not occur on a daily basis? Are we comfortable with that? Stephen?
Is it an event or a special event?
So this is a special event, but I think it's called the special event, right? But I think it's refers to any type of event. Do we need to have a list of that are appropriate or no?
No, and then do we need to have that they must contribute to the character, vibrancy and quality of life of the community?
Pardon me? They must contribute to the character vibrancy. You said yes or no?
I'm just asking, I don't know if I would want to put in that they must.
Name an event doesn't, I mean, most events do that in their own way.
Mhm.
I think, you know, we can argue, people can argue about character and vibrancy of event cheaping versus up for air, that's a running event for, I mean, maybe if you add the word in their own way. Cause I think they're all unique and different.
Character again is a pretty broad term.
Sure.
So if it's so
Well,
broad, do we
well,
want to
I
just
guess
maybe?
We just take it out.
We can just add it right there.
Take the sentence out so that it's, you know, so it's very broad and it doesn't have to be as specific.
Sure.
You expect some potential, just looking at phrasing, I mean, I already hear people saying, well, the side-by-side events are noisy, that is detracting from my quality of life. How would you defend
they
that?
have character.
Give them a earplug?
Alright.
Just as a, devil's advocate in that
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I think that's good. The dates, I think that's something that's gonna have to go. We got to pencil that out. So originally we were talking that they would be an 18-month grant. And that would basically cover the people who were thinking of January of next year. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
What was the date that you came up with?
Well, we have to figure out when we want to have our review done by. So the deadline basically for everything to be in, when we're gonna have our review, and then when we're gonna award.
When are we gonna submit or like put past the net for applications?
Well, and also to your point, Howard, you were talking about doing, because some people are planning for not next year, they're planning,
2027.
2027 already, so how do we account for that for next, I mean, and budget wise, can we budget for that, because it has to be spent in the financial year, doesn't it?
That gets tricky, doesn't it?
It's whether the funds are, I'm forgetting the word, but, the funds.
Allocate.
No, it's kind of like allocated, but it's, yeah, earmarked or under a contract, if there's an obligation to it. There's an accounting term that's going on my, I can't
Yeah,
remember.
cause I had grants that would be 3-year grants.
It's like committed funds essentially, that once they're under contract for that, and then that brings me to the question that I was waiting for later is. What is your guys' disbursement mechanism? Is it you're paid out upfront? Are you refunding?
So you have the terms.
Yeah, I think we talked about just refunding.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So Howard, what do you think? You were the one that had.
Well, I was
some
being-
thoughts on this.
Ideally, I mean, if this is a regular cycle, I would say basically every event for 18 months from January to June, but because we've got a late start this year, I was actually gonna just wash January and February next year because it's too late. And if you're gonna have an event, there's no way you're gonna be able to market effectively in 1 month. So maybe this first time around, we actually go from March 1st until the end of the summer of 27, and then reset to a normal 18-month calendar once we're up to speed. Does that make sense?
I think we have
I just
time.
feel that, we're not gonna get any bites for January or February this year because it's too late, so why not just extend the first year a little longer?
Well, that's what, I thought that was kind of the idea of having an 18-month
Yeah.
window, basically. So right now you would be applying for,
It might be
and
fine.
they would be overlapping as well.
Yeah, we could
You'd
still
have-
make it available for January, just.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not a
We
big
can,
deal.
but we can still, have it available so that it's a calendar year,
Yeah.
so. I think that would make it cleaner.
Favor the more established events if they're.
Yeah.
And it's to give bigger events more time to, plan.
So
future
if
potential.
we had, let's say, if we had the application ready on when is it, the December 9th? Is that the meeting?
Yeah, maybe end of January this year. I don't know.
Oh,
December 9th is the next MTAB meeting.
what's that?
December 9th is the next MTAB.
Yeah, if we can have this application ready to go by December 9th. We could have applications out December and January. That's 2 months. I don't know, do you think that, Melissa, do you think that's enough time for the advertisement and to look to circulate something like this?
No.
What's your experience with that?
Whatever it is that you guys are, I mean, it depends on what you're wanting to accomplish.
And what's the dates again you're looking at, 18-month window?
So,
Or
yeah,
12?
sorry, yeah, so if we had the applications in by the 9th, I'm just gonna put together a whole timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had them in by the 9th, and then we gave people 2 months, or do we need 3 months?
Let's say 2 months.
Yeah, let's say 2 months, and so let's call it March 1st. Right, that's the deadline,
What's the deadline?
March 1st.
Early Feb.
And you're looking to launch it January 1st is when you'd like to start talking about it,
December 9th.
December 9th.
Is when.
Does it have
they'd
to
like
be
to have the
through- I would do
application-
January.
application
What's that?
to go live.
It's already been approved by the commission.
Do you guys
So-
have an advertising budget for
Yes,
the,
I believe it's 20,000.
Are they doing any LinkedIn stuff with special events groups and event planners and coordinators?
I don't know. we
Don't
don't
know
have-
if that's part
Yeah,
of the
Nick and Ally would be
Got it.
they're the guys for that. So March first would be the deadline
deadline for,
for applications.
but for what period of time does the event take place?
Okay, so
Well,
this
there's
would,
nothing before March first of next year.
What's that?
Would be nothing before March first next year, right?
Well.
no, it could be,
Still have
No,
to.
because
it's
it's,
still,
it could be a reimbursement.
Yeah.
That's the way they've done it in the past.
But you guys have to, you also have to receive the applications and then you have to score the
Review,
application,
yeah.
then vote on the
Yeah,
application.
the review.
Yeah, and then you guys probably have to do this on a rolling basis. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're talking twice a year or quarterly. I don't know. I mean, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, so. So we received March first, we received the applications. It's gonna take us, what, 1 month to review them, you think?
Yeah, and then probably in April's meeting is when we probably make a decision. We're gonna want to go into that first.
Okay, so in the April meeting, there's a decision made.
Board would make a decision probably April's meeting, and then the commission would ratify that decision also in April and
Okay,
start the distribution.
Then here's your question. Would you credit, well, that sets up a dangerous precedent
Yeah.
if you would
oh,
credit
people-
backwards.
and that's what we had done previously.
So I think like the Jeep Safari might go for money this year and then March first as well. The Jeep Safari is in March, so that
So
might be a retroactive decision.
when is the commission meeting in April?
First and third Tuesdays of the month.
First.
So it'd have to be the third.
April. So that means that grants wouldn't be awarded until April 21st.
But yeah,
Seems pretty late.
But you guys could have a conversation of whether you guys are gonna intend backwards.
And so this year we could go and we could basically
retroactively.
retroactively, fill those grants back to January. Making this the last year that we do that, and then from here on forward.
Bring
it's
it
an
back
It's an
into-
18-month rolling window.
And then the next cycle would actually be maybe cut that deadline back until the end of the
The
year.
next cycle, I think, would fall on that. I think we'd want to keep the same cycle. I think there would be an overlap right there of those events for the winter.
So with those, they would have to have their ITA already completed and approved pretty much.
For,
High impact
To-
special events.
Hmm?
Are you talking about high impact special events?
Well, in order to have the event and get that reimbursement, because on the application,
correct, yeah, they couldn't get that until
They still have to go to the
all of the boxes are checked.
right, that's what it.
We
And
can
then
even,
we can make-
on this document, the last sentence says, for events taking place in early 2024, grant applications may be submitted retroactively for events that have already occurred. So we can keep that kind of line in place, I guess, for this cycle.
Okay, so let's hypothetically say though. We've put this out, someone applies, they wanna do their event in February. They get their approved for February, next February comes around. They're still in that 18-month cycle, and they get that event covered again. Or not. So, because they're gonna fall within that 18-month window,
So
and they
would
want to
we,
do an annual
I think the
event
question is, would we allow people to apply twice
in one period.
in one period?
Yeah.
That would be like a series.
Serious.
Right.
I mean,
Ideally, we want this to be like a.
They didn't have to apply because we want the ability to
yeah.
say we like.
Well, what about,
They could reapply, but can they reapply?
I would say after the event.
Yeah, but if
Because-
they, in like, in our,
Well, like, they have to close out their first grant before they can apply to another one. Makes sense. So they would have to close out their February event that they had,
yeah,
and then before they reapply for additional funds for the next. fall.
And you're saying we have 2 windows or 1?
I
so,
was thinking of just doing this once a year.
No.
right, so. Ideally, we're gonna do 12 month rolling after the first one, the first each month. So it'd be like a January to January event or calendar, like amount of funds that we're gonna give out, 250,000 per calendar year.
And I think the question,
Potentially.
yep, I think the question that came up and why we were thinking of that 18-month window is because the people in February, right, or even March, early March, really need to know a year previous, especially if it's a larger event.
They're gonna have the money for it,
Yeah.
right?
Is it a requirement of the grants process that they have commission approval, their dates before?
Yep.
Distribution or before application?
No, they can apply just before distribution.
Yeah,
Got it.
And actually, no, it's on this. On this right here, please note your application will only be considered complete when you submit the application along with an intent to apply.
Yeah.
So on this. On this form right now, they have to do both. They can't really turn in an application until they have their intent to apply. Which, do you know the dates on the intent to apply?
It's it's, what is it, the quarter, 2 quarters before, it's the first Monday of the quarter before. But the one tricky thing about this is you're saying if it's only one application review period, once a year, once every 18 months. Then you wouldn't be giving any support to new events that are forming with less than 1 year of intention.
That was why I'm asking, and also if they do the intent to apply and you choose their grant application and then they don't get approved for that event. Do you then open those dollars up for the next cycle, or do you open up in a newer cycle?
I think you'd have to do at least 2 reviews. You have to do it
Yeah.
once every 6. I know it's more work, but then I don't know how you encourage new events to come on. Because I hate to say it, a lot of people aren't here in January, February, and they're probably not thinking of, I mean. Whoever can steal this idea, I don't care, a pickleball tournament, there's no way somebody's not gonna come up with that idea. And so when do they start applying, and what happens if they've missed the window? And they wanna bring a pickleball tournament in the fall, they don't have it together now.
And the reverse of that, and this is just a question,
Sure.
just because I know how cumbersome these processes become.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you don't wanna try to at least take some of that money and say, we want to look at the pickleball tournaments, that would be something we're looking for, and these things, and then we'll use that money for that?
Like counties.
Well, let's just play it out. If we granted awards to X amount of groups that are coming in. If we didn't have any money left over for that cycle, then we're done. But if we have funds left over, then perhaps we do consider a second window for opportunity. It really depends on how many people apply that first time around, because they might eat up all the funding. It's unlikely, honestly, I don't expect, because the matching component is gonna really put pressure on a lot of organizers, whether they're gonna come through with it or not, so I don't anticipate, because we did plan to send that money that wasn't used back into the general marketing fund for the year. That was one of the conditions of this, that's why it's such a big number, kind of says, "Ooh, wow, look at this," but if it's not applied for, we want to make sure that money's put to good marketing uses for, so we immediately restore that into the general, marketing fund for the year. So I would actually say no, just like a once a year.
Just once a year, whatever makes it the most fair, right? I think that's really what we want. We want to make sure that people who. We definitely don't want to disadvantage people in February or
No.
January when we're really trying to push people into that. And we also don't want to, we don't want to disadvantage people into the summer months either. If those are the times that we're trying to drive visitation.
And we could decide to hold funding too, just in case for this first time, until people get used to our
We could split it and say
2 different funds.
2 different funds, and we could also split it into, 2 different funds, and you could have one high dollar and then a bunch of smaller dollars. I think that we could.
You could do it, yeah, there's 1,000 ways to cut it up. You could do it one that was a section that was specifically focusing on new events or shoulder season events. Maybe do that one in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say is, if we're focusing on trying to push events in our shoulder season, which are the summer and the winter. Do you think it would be like, okay, we're gonna have an application period in the winter time for our summer events and an application period in the summertime for our winter events?
Mhm.
So that people can take, several months to get like everything in order.
Sounds like it's a lot less complicated to track than the 18-month window,
Yeah,
which is like the same idea, I think, is what we were looking for.
yeah, so we still have that
Yeah.
same amount of money for the whole year.
Yeah.
Like break it up a little bit and
Yeah.
that way. It gives, and that way it also gives another like promotional, like. Let's advertise that we're having this special event grant again in the summertime, like, hey,
First round, second round, right?
yeah, it's like.
Also allows us to learn a little bit as we've done it,
Yeah, I think so.
which is nice for that amount of money.
So what would deadlines be for that, and what would the windows be? It's like windows and deadlines for those two.
I mean, I feel like this. First one's, we're kind of tight for time, but. A month to 6 weeks of like. Put it out for like advertise that it's out there, and then deadline is in a month. People
No, I'm
who,
talking about the, like, from wind to wind, it'd be 6 months, or like wind to wind with that. Will be available.
Maybe December opening it up and then be done by February,
Mhm.
and then
July, and August.
I get this is your guys' deal,
Yeah,
but I'm just
yeah,
kind of thinking of naturally, when is it slow in the winter? Maybe carve it down to 2 months.
Or your fire, what do you think?
I'm thinking,
What do you think?
I'm just kind of taking notes here, but,
So we can reduce the first window to the end of January, maybe,
And so the first grant would be funding then,
Like, first end of February.
what's that? No, so the funding period, right, for first cycle
Mhm.
would be then from January to December. We would
Mhm.
include the back,
And then July through June.
and then and then in July, we would have one,
Mhm.
and then in July, we would have one, and that would be funding from,
July to July.
Just another year.
are we doing a year, or are we doing 6 months? Would it be another year?
I just do it.
Well, I mean, at that point, I feel like we just
Be caught up.
have like, we kind of catch up and we just have that 1 year cycle. I feel like, I'm not sure how the breakdown of the budget's gonna work, but if we have 250,000 to use, then we're gonna appropriate each year. Right, if we have like an 18-month cycle, it just kind of confuses things, like, okay,
Yeah.
what part of the budget is this coming from, which year is this one coming from?
But July to July is gonna make it, now we're on a fiscal year. The county's on a calendar year.
I mean, realistically, what you're looking at is 6 months for them to really spend the funds, right? And I'm thinking, if you give the grant, you're not gonna do any advertising after the event happens.
Mhm.
No,
So you're ahead of it. They should have all their reporting, when I'm thinking in my mind how it would work, maybe you look at January, February to be the application months, and then you're looking at July is the 7th month, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah,
Yeah, July, August then for your second one, and all the funds have to be spent within 6 months. And they should have receipts for all their marketing dollars. They should be able to spend all those monies before, you'd hope, before the event. Is what any
Is it-
expenditures after the event doesn't probably justify, or doesn't fall within that.
does it make sense to have a July to July? And then, so round one would be February 1 through December, they would have to have the funds spent that first year.
Mhm.
So-
Second round would be July 1st to
June
June
30th.
or however,
Mhm.
to June 30th. And then our next round actually would be January 1st through December.
Yeah.
So we basically have 2 rolling.
Time period.
so at what frequency does the commission approve the event permits or whatever?
I think every time they come in, pretty much.
Well, it would make it easier on the commission too, to waive too far in advance.
Oh, 4 times, okay.
It's the first Monday of every new quarter. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it? Don't you guys review it every 3 months, every 90 days?
So would it make sense so like they apply, we can figure out who's awarded given permission and then it's due, this application is due right after, so.
Do you have the same reporting deadline or is it tied to their event? Meaning, is it like 3 weeks post event? Is when your reporting is required, or do you have a closeout reporting date for everyone in that cycle?
I don't think we've decided that yet. There were talks like we would give 50% prior to the event, and then once they provide receipts, we just distribute that other 50%.
Which would be nice, but it also would be a whole lot harder to track. Do you think that the idea of just the reimbursement at the end is gonna make everybody in that office a whole lot happier?
Mhm. I think that's the way to go.
Okay, what do we decide?
Again, I'm trying to put it together. Has anybody got anything that they want, or you want to suggest that we do this? So
Yep,
does
so,
everyone feel good with the first round though being basically from January 1st through December?
leave the deadline of March 1st.
Yeah, deadline of March 1st.
And this first year is
Yeah.
open to reimbursement post events if it's already happened.
Intermediate.
Does that make sense?
Yep,
It's right.
and then the second one would be July,
Yeah,
and that's through to June 30th of the following year.
correct.
And the deadline for that? The deadline for that would be, it's appropriate,
Maybe the end of June, and
what's that?
No,
end of June. To get the apps, that would allow the processing to happen.
I mean, we basically need like 2 months with open, close it a month later, and then another month review and approval, right? It's basically like 2 month time frame of
So April,
we open the period, close the period. So May,
May 1st.
May,
So was the first one January through July or January through December? Because the other one goes,
January through December.
so it's January 2026 through December 2026. July 1st to June 30th, 2027, July 1st, 2026. June 30th, 2027.
Sorry, January 2026 to the.
To June 30th, 2027. With a March 1st deadline for grant number 1.
then May,
And what's the proposed deadline? What's that?
May 31st deadline. So
Or
May
we-
31st deadline for the summer one.
Maybe June.
No, because that we need to be approved before July.
So do we want to do May 1st?
I'm saying, open it up May 1st,
Oh,
close it May
Okay, got it.
31st,
oh, got it,
review
Okay.
in June,
Got it.
distribute in July.
got it. So you're talking about a 1 month window.
1 month window to apply.
Got it.
1 month time period to review and
Got
approve.
it.
Okay,
So we open it up May 1st, close May 31st for applications, is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
For a second, for the July to June, yep.
Yes. And then
And then.
moving forward to do. If we're gonna do another January to December,
We probably bring that.
The following
so
year.
it'd be like a November
30th, yeah.
30th deadline.
Yeah.
For the full review in December.
Yep.
For the following month.
Yeah.
Or the following year.
So the
So we're back on track at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what's the goal? What's the goal to have, to be back on track by, to have, applications?
I
open?
think by the end of 27.
What's that? 26,
By the end of 2026.
to have, applications open in what, like?
Well, at that point, we could go to our, so we have our first cycle is 2026.
It's basically for the year,
Basically, we go back to November 30th.
But this is like,
but that's to include those.
27, yeah, this is
This is July twenty
Year.
six to June 2027.
There's a crossover with,
Yeah.
July to,
Yes, but I think we're just trying to stoke the fire a little bit by doing that, right? By having the June to the like the summer one. The summer application period,
Yeah, it makes it so that everybody has an opportunity.
right? So,
so by the
At that
end of
point-
2026, we wanna have, for the full year 2027 available by.
November, yeah, open November 1st,
To November 30th.
closes November 30th.
Discussing.
And then we're back
And
on
that-
track
and
with
that's
the
for-
full year,
And then that would be for
January
2027.
yep. Yep,
And we still have, there's like an overlap.
we still have the overlap,
And
for it,
then
but that's
I
fine.
think by the beginning of 2027, it could be like, okay, did that July to July work time, did that period work out, or is it something we
We'll
don't?
see what we already have.
Yeah, do we need
Yeah.
to even do that?
And we're thinking 125 in each.
These first go around, we can review all this in a year and see if it's worked, what's not worked,
Yeah.
refine it, maybe. Repitch it again.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm just gonna recap. We have grant number one, which is, for this opens up. As soon as we can get it open, in 2026, which we're assuming we can get that by December the 9th, where the application is live. With the deadline being March the 1st for the applications to be submitted, correct?
Maybe February. I know you're giving a little longer this first time.
I'm giving them a lot longer, but.
Yeah,
I tried.
yeah, we're
And
giving them, 2.5 months.
so
That's a long gap.
December's a write-off for most people anyway, so, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm already looking in January.
So then we have that is, for events taking place in 2026. We have grant two, which is, opens on May the 1st. Applications close on May 31st, and that is for events taking place from July 2026 to June 30th, 2027. And then on November the 1st, we open up applications. On November 1st, 2026, we open up full year applications for 2027 from January through December. Applications close on November 30th.
Yeah.
We can't make, these are our recommendations that we can bring to the board
Yeah,
for approval.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, okay. Guidelines, eligibility. Again, some of this needs to be reworked. Like, let's just go line by line. Events must take place in Grand County primarily, or is that, or what do you think that's?
Sound line, you can see some awful, just right there.
Is there any thought about anchoring to room nights, meaning, so if you look at your ROI and you've got, we're gonna take this out of TRT, so the 250,000. How many room nights would you need to replace that 250,000 and then giving that guideline to applicants as these are about how many room nights that we're looking for? You know what I mean? Like, how are you measuring what you want to get back out of it? Do you have non-fiscal metrics, meaning,
We
like,
don't.
okay.
We do,
That you,
I mean, it's a-
estimated, like per person equals so many dollars that you pull.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
what's that?
Ryan pulled a number, I don't recall where it was from, but
Yeah.
each person, we give a value. to that
Our average visitor spend, we
Yeah.
could find out what our average visitor spend is. And so, what we could do is so let's say the average visitor spends $360 per day here. Right? So then you could take the number of people that you have, 50 people, they spend $350, right? That at least equals the amount of money that we're giving them.
Mhm.
And. Yeah. The only thing with that.
You need to look at your sales tax calculation, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know that we
Yeah.
want to give some of this kind of proprietary information out to the public in terms of what we're looking for. I mean, in terms of visitor spends and everything that we're not that. It's something we really,
Mhm.
if it's something we want us, it makes it sound a bit too almost mechanical, like we're giving such
It
emphasis
is,
on the
I mean, we have
dollar.
to remember, it's a good deal for us and them.
Yeah.
This works both ways, right? Like, not only are they leveraging their dollars, we're leveraging our marketing dollars as well. So we're both putting into the good of raising the ships up, or however you wanna put it.
So events must take place in Grant County, we're okay with that?
Yes.
Events must be inclusive and accessible to the public, including free or ticketed access. Funding
Yeah.
is not available for private events. Is that still the case? Funding is not available to promote a business.
Well, our,
I mean, like.
I don't understand
the event,
that
you
private
consider
event,
private.
it's usually private organizers. Public
I'm thinking like
participation.
a conference, if it's
Yeah.
a large business, that would be.
Conference is a private event.
I mean, yeah, if it's a ticketed.
A wedding is a private event.
Yeah.
Particularly
Family
bring the
reunions
people
are
in,
private event.
like if they're bringing people into so it's we have Google, bring their entire, team down to Grand County. We did a couple of years ago.
I would
They-
remove
they-
that sentence.
They took up hotel rooms, they took up conference rooms, they did all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they're buying hotel rooms, they're buying conference space.
But that's really,
But that's
that's our own event, it's not a
Exactly.
special event, that's just.
It doesn't really matter.
What did? You mean like, what if the American Dental Association wanted to have a thing here? But then. Still don't see.
But how are
Think
they,
of like, I mean, a private event, I mean.
how are they gonna be advertising? it?
Exactly,
that's
like,
where
why
I
would
see
you
it.
why
Yeah.
would be advertising if it was a private event?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so do we
You're
wanna
not
keep,
really,
are
that's
we,
like,
okay, funding is not available for private
Yeah.
events?
seems like a moot point.
Well,
we
just,
can drop it.
I can see the distinction. I think that anytime you do a ticketed event, it is open to the public, but
Yeah.
it's private in the sense of you have to pay for a ticket.
Okay,
before you
right.
do it. I think most we'd understand if there was some weird application that came across that was like, hey, the military wanted to do an event to have vendors in here, but we'll circulate a flyer between all the military organizations. I doubt they'd come and apply, but if that circumstance arose, then I think you guys could
hi
discuss.
Laura, you just unmuted, do you wanna speak?
Not until all of you have. I'm just apologizing to be not with the whole gig, but funding not available to promote a business. I'm wondering what's the difference between promoting a nonprofit and promoting a business? As far as I'm concerned, if it's bringing income into the community, we should just look at it. But that's just a thought, just a thought.
Well, I mean. You shouldn't. If these are marketing dollars for the grant, you are promoting a business, but that's not the goal. It's not like, come on down to Bob's Awesome Conventions. It's come to Bob's Awesome Convention in Moab,
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah,
So I think it's
Let's just
funding
take
is
that line out
not
of there.
available to solely promote a business. It should be very clear, the intent of the funds are to be spent for marketing for an event, come to Moab. But you
And I
don't get bonus bucks for other things.
Yeah, and I think that we define that pretty well
Okay.
up above. So I think that, the purpose of this application is defined as an event organizer. An event is defined as a period of time specifically for a special purpose, which does not occur on a daily basis. Events are intended to drive visitation to Grand County, Utah from outside the county, enhance visitor experience.
Where are you?
generate Overnight stay,
Back
back up the definition. So I just think
Go
that,
back up and look at definition.
I think the definitions actually kind of handle
Okay.
that. You could probably just drop that line. If you guys are comfortable with
yeah,
it.
okay.
I'd say get rid of.
Sorry to
Um,
be rude on that one. I just am like, what? Okay.
No, I agree.
we're not voting today, it's just a workshop.
When you guys are paying or refunding the advertising costs, do you require them to provide you a proof or a copy of the ad itself that was placed?
I think that's part of this, we're talking about that next soon.
Okay.
The special this one needs to be scratched.
Okay.
Especially what events that are moving towards fiscal and minor rental. I mean, I know a lot of this is I don't know what would needs to be there, what doesn't.
What about this survey? that we
Diverse
have to put
cultural
out?
experiences will be given consideration, but I mean, what all do we want or not want here? I mean, obviously we want environmentally sustainable events, but
It's-
is there a special, I don't know, this was from the previous economic development department who came up with.
Yeah,
I mean, still, I think you guys would give special consideration to fiscally
Yeah.
sustainable events and for environmentally sustainable events. Any type of consideration is consideration. It's one of, I think a lot of language that we use when we have a lot of different elements or items that we're considering, no one thing is dispositive.
Yeah.
So you put that language in there and you guys can give special consideration to lots of different factors.
Applicants must complete the forms provided, incomplete, but not reconsider return of law. Applicant receiving a grant must collect survey responses from the event. Participants using the Grand County Special Event Attendees Survey, is that something that still exists?
Yes. Or wait, no.
And is this something that we
So
are,
We can take it from that.
what's that?
why don't we
Can
ask,
borrow whatever they had.
why don't we ask, the Moab Office of Tourism, and we can see if they want to have anything in there for that?
Some sort
Because I
of
mean,
survey.
a survey, because they're really the
Yeah.
only people that would be using that,
Yeah.
or Madden, you know, is there something that they want to get from
Yeah.
people? Because no use asking questions if we're not gonna use the data
Well,
to make some kind of decision.
this first go round, if they're retroactively, now they figure out that they have to.
Yeah.
This information retroactively, so we can't put money.
And is this something that we want them to provide a survey to us? And call, including the following report, which has the number of participants who stayed in hotels, so this is the
I
report.
think you would just give special consideration to those people who are, you know, if they're gonna be applying, it's gonna be. Let's say, in a February event. They're also reading through this, so they're gonna have to try to have their ducks in a row to get their funding. Retroactively. Provided, but. I think you just give them a grace period, like, okay, we guys, for the next round, you need to do a survey.
We can put that back into the July to July if we like
Yeah.
it,
What's that?
Yeah.
the survey. And then also going back to special consideration, I think that is where we should put anything that we are looking for. Right, not just, you know. Environment, I mean, we should have all the things that we want to see right here. In the special considerations. So maybe that would be more of a bullet point type of,
The regular season, you know.
yeah,
During the week.
Rock concerts,
there you go, monster jams.
yeah, monster jams.
Monsters of Rock.
I think, soccer tournament would be rad.
WWE.
Pickleball tournament.
I mean, the dog agility, you know, that happens right in the middle of the
Yeah,
summer.
we used to have that.
Yeah.
Rock and Jam Show.
Yeah, there's lots of things like that. We could put that list that we had.
One thing I'd like to see is, you know, because we're a county board, really pushing our county facilities that have like the Grand Center, Spanish Trail Arena and the airport, you know, they should be, you know, if people are booking county facilities as a county board, we should be saying, thank you. You know, that's great for us. Airport's nobody, well, like their show, boogie. Yeah, I don't know, a helicopter festival, I have no idea, just, because it's a county.
Yeah, I don't know that they have, I mean, the airport has some limitation, but. I
Gun
mean,
show.
you could do,
Spanish.
this
Trail
could
Arena's
be an
like-
area for conventions, but I will tell you, the attorneys, we don't. The Utah Prosecution Council, we don't use Grand County because it's so expensive during the season for conventions.
Yeah.
So,
When is the season for convention?
usually in the fall and spring, you avoid kids. Actually, the summer is usually hard and
Mhm.
winter breaks and fall breaks, so.
Opposite of our
This was
season.
earlier hard, and the concern was that if we are collecting TRT funds from. The hotels that have the space available, or hotels in the future that have that conference room space, we're. Providing preference to Grand County facilities.
Well, effectively, I've heard our senior center described by the commission as a convention center, so maybe we should sell it appropriately for, you know, as such. It is a facility after all that, of a size that I don't think there's anything beyond the Moab Valley Inn that has the capacity.
Well,
to
it just goes into the pool. We have, you know, conference rooms available through all of our
Yeah.
hotels, and the county
Yeah.
has additional.
Can provide
available.
options.
Yeah.
But I think we're treading into some.
Yeah,
So who wants to look into the survey? You're saying that we might look at somebody else who might have one?
I say that we drop it for this first application, and then if it's something that people say, hey, we should put that in, I think that we could throw that right into the
So we're
July.
gonna drop for the first round.
Yeah.
Have you guys thought through like tagging specific behaviors or incenting specific behaviors, like for example, issuing a specific coupon code to a grantee to track hotel rooms or discounts, or you know what I mean? Like just tagging them on their way in so that you know where they stayed and how many people redeemed, or maybe another time.
I don't know. How to track that.
I mean, it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea, but I don't know if there's capacity to actually.
Yeah.
do
I think you may put that on the applicant, you know, to try to track some of that stuff.
We do, we ask for the, you know, the economic impact.
Yeah.
All advertising must contain the
Do
grant
we want
fund
to
logo.
include this, the compiled results will be part of so we're getting rid of the survey, but do we do want the report? Is that part of the,
Yeah.
are we,
Yes,
okay with, what's in this report, number of participants, number of additional people, petitions party? Number of participants stayed in commercial campgrounds, state, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna get a lot of this information, but. State, country of origin, number of participants who ate in a restaurant, I mean. It's great to have, I don't know how they're gonna be able
You could get
to-
some of the information from, like, when you purchase the ticket. But
I think that would be, I mean, a lot of this has to do with a survey.
to, what's that?
This would be like surveying your participants, so. That's kind of the beginning, is like, this is the survey provided. You're gonna ask the people who participated what they did while they were here.
So do we wanna keep this?
I mean,
I mean, it's nice to have,
I feel like-
I think they're gonna be, their estimates from a lot of them, I don't know how they're gonna come
Yeah.
up with, yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're going to get a good survey response.
Yeah.
It's not going to be representative of their entire group. I think that's overly optimistic.
mhm.
But we do need some documentation for it. I mean,
Right, like.
Devil's advocate is fine.
Ticket sales,
yeah,
that makes sense to me.
But I don't know how you measure, apart from anecdotally, that this event brought in a lot of money to Moab. I mean, surely by people being here, but the counter is if you did a rock climbing festival down on Wall Street or whatever. That's gonna bring in substantially less money. If everybody's camping out there, then you know, a UTV event that people stay at a place and rent UTVs.
But it's the same question we have though with the ITA, those questions are on there as well. There's nobody that actually goes back that I know of, like.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's
Yeah.
it's just trying to give the best due diligence effort to the state or whoever's looking
Yeah.
at seeing if these funds were spent in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like giving the event organizers a chance to your best estimation.
Best
Yeah,
ability,
right.
yeah.
Give us the number of participants, additional people,
And
you know,
stay
hotel
hotels.
stays, campground stays, origin of people. Ate out, bought a t-shirt.
Mhm.
But our goal is ultimately to attract people that are not from here to come visit.
Right, right.
And it also would be good if we do get audited or something happens and they ask us how this money was spent, we say, well, look. We do have some paperwork that
Yeah.
says, you know, we tried to, these people brought in this many people and this group right here brought in this many people from Arizona and.
Do you think that, yeah, I feel like a lot of this will be more appropriate once we get to the, you know, the mid-year application, and then you can have the survey written out with, you know, things that we really want on there, and then giving that to the event organizers, and then they pass that to their participants, and You get a lot more information that way.
Stephen, are we still okay to ask state country of origin of participants?
We're asking it in the context of visitors. I think that's fine.
Because it's not a preference.
We're not. I think the way in which we're asking it, we're asking about visitors that are visiting the event from those locations.
We could make it more like the TRT HB 456 has it. And we could have, visitors outside of Grand County and then visitors outside of Utah.
Sure.
What, instead of the number of participants who visited Grand County for the first time, or what are you saying? What are you talking about?
It's basically in-state visitors or out-of-state visitors.
He's saying state country of origin of participants.
Yeah.
Got it.
If you wanted to do that, that's one way that we could get away from
Inside
that.
Grand County, inside Utah, outside of Utah. Yeah, or inside, outside of Grand County, inside, outside of, well, yeah,
So you just want in-state, out-of-state, or do you want, what did you say?
I think. In like a number of participants who are Grand County residents. And then number of residents who are from Utah, number of residents from outside of Utah. Like three, I mean, we're looking.
So 3.
Yeah,
Three different
works.
sets.
And then, all advertising must contain the Grand County logo, which can be obtained by contacting, what's that? Yeah.
MTAB. Moat.
Contract stating terms and conditions must be signed with applications of approved events. Granted funds will be allocated in 2 installments. This is, this is.
Is there anything we need to?
Yeah, this was economic development, but it was used to be 50-50, like 50% was given out prior, and the other 50 received post-event. I mean, that seems,
Is there anything special on that contract? Or
What do we
just
wanna do now?
maybe something standard for your office then?
Yeah, the payment terms just get inserted into the contract, whatever it is. The holdup was that there has to be enough money that they care about follow-up. Yeah, so
What's that?
there has to be enough money that's at risk. The 10% sometimes,
That's not,
No, I think we
yeah,
just drop that. I think so much easier if we just pay it back afterwards.
100%.
oh, just 100% after the reimbursement.
100% reimbursement.
That's fair.
yeah,
Yep, 100% reimbursement.
Well,
You-
then it makes that question of, will
Did
the
they need the
grant
money up
fund
front?
impact your ability to hold the event, void?
well, no, it won't, because,
You're gonna get
yeah, if
$50,000.
you apply and they're like, yeah,
Oh.
you're approved.
Yeah.
Okay,
And like, okay, we're gonna spend 50,000 and you're gonna give us 25 back. After the event,
And
right?
you're gonna have to float it. I mean, that's really the
Mhm.
question is,
can
Can-
you float
Can
it?
they afford it?
yeah, and that should be a question up front is, can you afford to? That, they should just be explained.
Mhm.
We're gonna give you 50% of it. Will you be able to carry that for 3 months, or is that and a no for 3 or 4 months? If the answer is no, then. That
So you
is.
want to go back to that question and edit that.
Or if
Well, I
I was an
think- I
event
think you-
organizer, I'd want some of that money to actually pay for the advertising up front, so
Yeah.
I'd actually kind of 50-50
Particularly
seems
smaller
reasonable.
events, I know.
But the hard thing, if you're doing a payback, they're using your money to document that they've paid for it. If you're giving them money up front.
So give them half up front and half after.
And what if they
Simple
don't
discussion.
have them hold their event?
That's the risk.
What's that?
What happens
Well,
if they don't
they'll be
hold their event?
blacklisted from ever getting money from us. So,
Yeah, but still, it's,
yeah,
I mean, there's a contract.
there's a level of trust in there that they're gonna hold the event, but I can see what you're saying.
that's
all
why I
tough
like,
questions.
yeah, I mean, I do like just 100% on the back end. It does
Reimbursement.
Reimbursement. And that's how it was previously.
No, it's 50-50.
No.
It was
90-10,
Oh, now this was 90, yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, but
98% upfront.
And 10.
10%.
Yeah.
I know we've been so far
Melissa, what
behind
are your
that
thoughts?
everything's been a reimbursement anyways.
It's interesting.
So like, it's like, It's like,
So
yeah,
Switching.
and the
It
people
used
who
to
are
be
on that
payout.
reimbursement
Hold on.
schedule are looking for this.
Yeah.
So there's
Reimbursement
enough
back.
interest just on the
We
reimbursement, I
just
think
went to the
that,
state of
that will be
Utah
okay, and then we don't
for
have to worry
resources for
about
all
that.
outdoor
I
recreation
mean, to be
grants
honest, we
this
could
year.
even put more hooks
They're
on it
doing
right there.
reimbursement,
You know, you
and the
could say-
max they're
I'm sorry.
giving is 25%, and to get the next disbursement, you have to show your receipts, plus you also have to show your match. And it's the weirdest thing, I've never seen that before.
She was saying the grants used to be upfront. And then,
They used to be like 90-10 usually. What I noticed with the state of Utah, and this is what's so crazy, is the state of Utah has always been 90-10, like go out 90-10. We went to the DNR workshop last week about the outdoor recreation grants. And you only get two options. You get a reimbursement on the back end, or you can get up to 25% upfront. Then for every other 25%, and this is the state of Utah now, are saying, then you give us the receipts that you have spent that 25% plus your portion of the match for that 25%. And that's what will make you eligible for the next 25%. I have no idea why their compliance department is gonna have the resources to be able to even manage that. But it has flipped, and I think it's because people, and by people, I mean even at the federal and the state level, they're getting no report, no finished project, no
And
proof
then-
of completion.
And that holds them to having the event, but they don't have the event, they won't.
Takes the risk away from us.
Well, and honestly-
On the back end. Yeah.
It's harder to convince commissioners to sue constituent, or to sue people, including their
It
constituents.
doesn't feel good. Everyone will say there's a clawback clause. Don't worry, we can always claw it back. When push comes to shove, especially if those are folks in your own community. Do you really want to go to them if there were extenuating circumstances and say, I'm really sorry you weren't able to pull it off, but we're gonna need that money back? It sounds easier than it is.
Lori McFarland.
So I think one of our challenges is that we have a trust issue. I think Melissa probably knows this well, that we've had economic development money that was allocated 4 years ago that has still never been accounted for. There was, to Stephen's point, there was no incentive to, oh, I'll just not worry about the last 10% because I never did the thing, or I did it sort of. Every marketing program that I've participated in, I paid everything up front and also sent them the proof of my invoices and the pictures of what I did to see if it met the criteria. And I will tell you, I was really motivated to do it the proper way, or else I got zero. And I feel like there's less administrative work when we just make it, you get reimbursed if you do it right, but this paying 90% up front, and then we'll sort of see how it flies, because we don't have, to Melissa's point, we just don't have the ability to follow up on that, in my opinion. Anyway.
Maybe the 100% after the event is.
Reimbursement.
Yeah, and that keeps it clean with the public too, because if the public says, well, we didn't even have their event, you're giving all this money away. It kind of protects us from that, said, no, you're not gonna give them the dime until.
They
after
should
the
still
event.
do marketing for the event and try to
Puts
attract,
the pressure on the organizer.
but, you know.
The one carve out, the one caveat is if you had an event that was like, hey, look, I think it'd be awesome to do a kids soccer tournament. I don't think I'm gonna make a bunch of money. I think I'm gonna do this for the community. It'd be awesome to fly the posters and get it advertised. I don't have the money to fund it. Now, is that somebody you guys want to come to you and say, hey, we want to deviate from this and be able to do it a different way? Is there some chunk of money, not the 200,000, but maybe is there 20,000? And I know I'm making more problems and homework and headache. But is there 20 grand that you'd be able to format it a little differently because of certain events?
Well, is that even a ticketed event?
Sure.
I
Well,
don't
I mean, they're getting.
have the staff right now to ask for that kind of follow-up. We had
Sure.
triple the amount of staff 4 years ago, and we still have no accountability. I think we need to not worry about people that can't buy $300 worth of weight of flyers.
Yeah, and then on The next one, as you move on to it, all applicants applying for a special events grant must also apply for and fulfill all requirements for special event permits with Grand County, the city of Moab, and other public land managers as applicants.
So all the approvals have to be in place.
So, yeah, and they have to have met, what is it, all the requirements. So, you know, that, I don't know if we wanna put in there, but does that mean that they have to have satisfactorily met all the requirements?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
We don't want a public health nightmare after they leave an area.
Exactly.
I would say that stands.
So where we go?
Now, just moving on down.
Well, no, I mean, what have we decided, if anything? I mean, obviously, we can't make decisions today, but what?
I feel like it sounds to me like the consensus is reimbursement.
Yeah.
And we can have a final discussion on the next board meeting.
Based
Um,
on the past fee and.
And if somebody wants to come up with a proposal to have something, they can bring it up at the board meeting.
Yeah, I feel like.
Or if someone here has a proposal for,
Seems good.
Yeah.
thanks, Steve, coming.
See you.
Did you read the next bit? The minimum of 50% of this match must be in cash.
Take that.
I'll understand what that requirement is.
It's in kind, right? So like in kind, so can they use their labor as their matching funds? Can they use, I am donating my own
Nice.
lighting as a matching fund?
Got it, okay.
I would put that up as 100.
Yeah. We agree with the wording of this, up to 50% of the work may be made for, up to 50% of the required match may be made through in-kind means, including volunteer labor and donations. Documenting in-kind matches should be shown by hours that are spent on the project that are outside the employee's normal scope.
Can we just get rid of this whole paragraph?
Want to just get rid of that, or?
I actually think we should keep it in though, and just say that the applicant must provide a 100% match to the requested grant. A minimum of 100% of this match must be in cash. And what that does is that tells people that they cannot use in kind. They can't go and say, hey, I spent 10 hours designing this flyer and that was worth 50 grand that I'm gonna match to your 50 grand cash.
It's too arbitrary.
So are we getting rid of the up to 50% of the required match maybe through in-kind means?
Yes,
And I'd recommend putting it in as 100%.
Well,
Just say
it already is in the beginning.
Yeah, or just
Yeah,
cash
cash
match,
Okay, so, okay,
Yeah.
so how,
Okay.
100% cash match.
There.
And get rid of the right.
and get rid of the in-kind.
And then get rid
Yeah,
of
because
the
people can go
paragraph.
and note that for, like Brian said,
Right.
charge 10,000 an hour.
Like,
I did 5 hours.
in my
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, I'm gonna charge $500 an hour to.
Yeah,
I wish I made 10 grand an hour.
Okay,
that's at the larger scale.
Kind of.
funding is contingent on available monies, the process is competitive, there are no guarantee that funding, any decisions. Also are at the discretion of the, and who is managing this, the Moab Office of Tourism? What office is managing this process?
Commission administration,
Pardon me?
admin. Commission administration.
So at the discretion of the commission,
There you go.
well, it already has the, so just get rid of the, change that to MTAB, the economic,
Grand County Commission.
No, yeah.
is the Economic Development Advisory Board involved in this? They're not,
They were previously.
okay, so this is just gonna be MTAB and the county commission?
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Now,
Well, and Mott,
yeah, Moab area.
What's that?
Yeah,
Mott as well.
MOT.
MTAB, Mott, and the Grand County Commission.
Yeah.
MOTAB.
now walking a fine line here. Would it be recommended though to at least let the Economic Development Board know about this and maybe utilize them to help search for some of those RFP grants for events?
Cause they only have, how much is their grant, that stuff there for? So this is just for, what's that? It's not much.
Melissa, you're on that board.
Yeah.
Is that something that board would
It's a
be
different group. though.
willing to help out
Yeah.
with to provide recommendations, or is that beyond them or too much right now?
I don't think they'd have the bandwidth.
Okay,
Do you, Cora? I think sharing it with all your boards, like sharing with everyone in the county to let them know that the grant is out there.
mhm.
If I were you guys, I am
Keep
the
that.
juice ain't worth the squeeze kind of gal. I think who you're really looking for are large corporate folks that are looking for a place to have their event and they have a marketing budget and they want your check to come
Yeah.
through their accounting department
Yeah.
on time after contracts are signed. I know what the EOAB board went through the last time to do application reviews and it's nasty.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
Um,
you know, Angie Book and, you already at the Grand Center, sending it out to all the people that booked events previously.
mhm.
Would be awesome.
Mhm.
Since this is specifically a marketing funding process, it makes sense, it's MOTAB kind of just the first overseer.
Okay.
Complete detailed final report including summary of expenditures, estimated attendance, compiled survey result, doing to get rid of compiled survey result.
Yes.
This one, yes.
Um,
Financial impact will be required within 60 days following the conclusion of the event. And will be part of the special event closeout. form.
is there a special event grant closeout report?
Yeah.
So we have to.
There will be one.
Create one.
On file and somewhere buried in the MOTAB office.
Within the 60 days window following.
And if
the
they don't file in
conclusion
that
of the
period, they
event,
don't get
Applicants
reimbursed,
will be
period.
ineligible for
Typically,
reimbursement.
for the grant, what you do is you'll have them submit their invoice along with their final report.
Yeah.
So give us your final invoice
Yeah.
with your receipts and your final report. And then we'll get you a check within X amount of time.
Is
Pretty much
there
that deadline.
anything else we're requiring here? I mean, this just says complete final report, including summary of expenditures, but it doesn't say invoices. It doesn't say specific stuff, which I think is important.
Yeah.
Okay,
We need to include
Invoices. Also, maybe.
Or
some-
copies of invoices.
Yeah, and examples of advertising. Or.
Maybe some of your late.
You invent the will, so what Goya requires,
Yeah,
I think is
just,
perfect, which is, it's your receipts, Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity, which is your
Material.
receipts, invoices, whatever, and then a matching proof of
Yeah.
payment,
Relates to.
and then your final report,
A matching proof of payment.
yep. They require your invoices and receipts, and then they require proof of payment, which is like the canceled check.
Yeah.
or-
Invoices.
Sounds like campaign.
Exactly,
Yeah.
The
They
final,
decided they canceled it or didn't, yeah,
Yeah.
To your banks do.
and then you're done,
okay.
you know, and it should be pretty
Clean.
easy for them if they've done it the right way, but to Lori's point. When it's your money that's on the line and you're gonna get a reimbursement, how careful are you with your travel
Yeah.
receipt?
100% puts pressure on the organization.
different,
Their act
right.
together.
Is gonna be managing this? Who is gonna, if we have an email address and everything, where is this going? What department? Who do we know?
we don't,
Okay. So is that something they can talk about in the next meeting?
Yeah, I'll-
And look into?
mhm.
I really think we need a special events office person, and that once we get, you know, a director. Because this is gonna be like a job for one person, you know, and I mean, there was already a position in the county for this. So again, that's a great year-round position for the office to
I
keep.
think it's
part of
great, and we had talked about when we had met earlier with Angie. How nice it would be to have an events person that's almost like a business development person saying, all right, what do we want next? Do we want a balloon festival? These are the 30 balloon festival companies that we're gonna reach out to. You know, and they also kind of act as the salesperson for special events when they're in town. Like, what type of bookings do you need? Are you looking for restaurants? Are you looking for caterers?
County did have a
Kind of work like
position
a.
previously. and travel office,
Exactly.
Mhm.
Just for events.
I like that idea.
Mhm. It's, you know what, do you need
Yeah.
audio visual? Do you need,
Just
because
like-
their job is to sell stuff, not just to
For-
facilitate.
Precisely.
Uh-huh,
Did a
Yeah.
great job.
They
And
did a good job, they streamlined it quite a bit.
All right, we're almost finished. Well, with this part of it.
But I do have a question though, are we expecting whoever's administering this grant to be doing the, to be checking in on it as well?
You mean the follow-up?
Yep, the follow-up. That's the biggest part right there is who is gonna actually grab those receipts and go through and go, okay, great,
Event coordinator.
they actually did spend that money.
It is,
appropriately. Who's holding people
Use the
accountable?
accountant.
and I wouldn't reinvent the wheel again, like, you know what I would do? I would use you know how they make you do the spreadsheet and you have to match the line to the number for the receipt to the transaction or whatever? I would just use their process.
Well, we have the budget spreadsheet.
Instead of
and the
creating one.
application, so. Showing. That.
But they have a compliance department, I don't know, you know,
So anyways, it's just a question.
Yeah, I mean, they should, whatever that.
We need to have someone on
Yeah.
compliance, otherwise we're gonna end up like they ended up with that STAR grant.
Allowable grant expenses, marketing expenses, ads, paid media, etc. These expenses must directly market the event rather than the business organization. Promotional expenses, mailers, brochures, shirts, medals that are given as prizes. These expenses must be intended to directly promote the event. These expenses cannot include items such as sold as merchandise at the event.
Should we say,
Staging,
like prior to,
what's that?
directly promote the event prior to the event,
Yeah, it could be like during, you know, like everyone who shows up gets a free t-shirt.
but then at that point, does that add to hotel rooms? If they give out t-shirts to people that are there.
I mean, that's the promoting the event. And it's promotion.
Staging event, these expenses
It could be,
include.
it could
Oh,
be,
sorry.
I'm sorry, no, I just wanted to finish up Cora's question there, is it could be something that we look for in their budget. Right, so if in there, when we're going through, then we look and go, oh, look, they got, you know, they're looking for $50,000, they're gonna spend.
Quality of marketing proposals.
Yeah, exactly, you know, but 25,000 of it is merchandise, maybe that's not a high enough,
Yeah.
you know, it's not something that scores high enough to go in there.
Staging. Venue rental, food, audiovisual, public announcement equipment. What? Get rid of it?
Mhm.
Office of tourism.
And then to be determined,
Mhm.
in terms of who's gonna handle that kind of stuff. Okay, so,
On my list.
one thing that I did pull up today, which, let's pull this down. Was, see if I can find it. It was Knox County, they had a really good,
Fox Elbert.
event, they had a really good, kind of
Oh,
grant guideline, they had a good guideline thing.
I really like, wasn't. It was Hebert that I really liked.
That was earlier, oh well.
There was also Garfield.
that?
Again, 19th County that were shared. Was it one of the ones that was shared by Ally?
It was just going over the guidelines, it was just overall guidelines. Matching funds. Howard, you have thoughts? How that works?
But it's 100% the back end, it doesn't really,
Well,
Oh, yes.
you wanted to talk about dynamic matching. funds.
yeah, I was gonna see, you know, if it's a first time event, maybe we offer them more than 50-50. You know, but that's at the board's discretion, really, that's what I was, or if an event's gonna happen in January. You know, there's a risk, you know, a risk here, I mean, if there's an event in April or May, September, October, I would not go cent over the matching amount, but. For those event organizers who are trying to broaden our economic base, maybe we do give a bit more than, you know, 50-50, maybe 60-40. But that would be a case by case scenario, basically.
But we're recommending that 100%.
Never 100%. No, we'd never pay 100% of
Well,
it.
he's talking about how much we're gonna give them for the promotion, not when they're gonna get it.
Just how much we give that, is it 50/50? Is it
So if they spend 100.
Oh, okay,
if they-
okay, I see.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah,
Yeah,
they
it
spend
does.
100, okay.
For new events.
Just to offer some flexibility in that, especially for new events to get going, to, to show that we support them too. And maybe they fail, and that's something we have to, consider too. It's not,
I mean. Well, as far as this event.
we could stay 50/50. I just thought,
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't really say on here 50/50 anywhere,
okay,
so.
that's good then.
Yeah, I mean, in this application, in the guidelines, there's
Right now, let's just say it's matching.
it. Yeah. It just says the match,
Says what?
it just says this match,
That doesn't say the actual match though, up to 50, up to. We can match up
Oh,
to
here's Fox Elders.
yeah,
dollar for dollar.
Question with that though is the one timers, right? So I get 60% for coming here one time.
Mhm.
I know it's only gonna be a one time, but I get a better deal.
Mhm.
Now, we've also have our people who have been loyal, who've been bringing people here for years, they only get 50%.
It's cleaner to keep it just matching.
yeah,
It's just a thought. That
Yeah,
was
no,
it.
no, but I like the idea of it, but
Let's just get it going first and see what we bring
I
in.
think it just would be good to define match.
This sounds really nitpicky, but it's just because I think words set things in people's minds and you're able to draw metaphors or whatever. All of the things that you guys are talking about is one of the big reasons why I would almost consider even changing the name of this, and instead of calling it like a marketing grants program, just co-op advertising. Because people who are used to dealing with that, they're so used to that term that they know what it means. It's like, oh, if I'm taking out
Just don't
25.
confuse it with Utah. Utah has
Yeah,
the
co-op.
Utah Office of Tourism has a co-op that is very well known. I just don't want to be confusing with that at all, particularly it's at state of Utah co-op grant. I don't want to.
I think it's because people get it though, you know what I mean? Like if I'm Jeep and I know that I've gotta, buy a $25,000 ad. And I'm gonna get $12.50 from, because that's what they're used to from manufacturers and what they're used to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they know what that means. Oh, okay, great. I'm gonna take out a $50,000 ad and you're gonna send me my check for 25. I mean, I don't know. I feel like when we talk about it in these terms, and this may be what we want, this is why, this is your board and this is what you guys want. When we talk about it in terms of matching funds and grants and reimbursements and those things, you're gonna get people who are used to grants.
You're attracting a different client.
Yeah, it's exactly, you're speaking to a totally different audience, and that may be what you want. And if what we want is to support local groups who would really like to try a new event or try a new whatever, that grant messaging is gonna resonate with them and they're gonna get it. Like, oh, I understand what a grant is, right? If you wanna speak to a different kind of audience, what they're looking for are co-op advertising dollars. So that may go into your group's discussion about what is it that, if we were to identify the persona, the ideal person, what do they look like? Is it a corporation? Is it a, whatever? But I don't know. But when you're talking about grants and matching and all of those things, I'm hearing you're speaking to really specific demographic.
I think one of the board concerns was groups that continually come back to us every single year for money and not really show any indication that their event is growing, where they're more self-sufficient. And we kind of wanted to get away from that we're just not like, oh yeah, here you go. We wanted to see the events mature to a point that they don't need this public money, they can sustain themselves. And, as a means to kind of get to that point, then, the matching criteria might shift. And
Those are the groups and core pushback. Those are the groups that I think are gonna be weeded out if you leave grant messaging behind.
If you leave what?
If you switch away from more of like the grant messaging. You know what I mean? I know that that's what we've seen on the economic development side of the applications. I don't know, it depends on what you guys are looking for. Just a
But I
thought.
mean, I never understood that, with these people becoming self-sufficient. Right, like the whole idea is I still think of this is a good opportunity for both of us. right?
Right.
Like Grand County is basically gonna put, let's just say $10,000. I give you $10,000. We just turned our $10,000 into $20,000, into $20,000 worth of advertising. And in my mind, it's good advertising too.
Yeah.
Like when you think of the funnel, right? This isn't like, these guys might come here. These people are coming here, right? This is low funnel, like high conversion rate, advertising that we're spending. So, I mean, people who are, I value the people who come here year after year
Shows
after
that we
year.
value them too.
Exactly, and I think that, and
It's a good counter argument.
is being self-sustaining, like, great, sure, but like,
It's beneficial for us to support them because they bring so much.
Yeah, even legacy events.
100%, that's it.
Next year, the Jeep Safari is 60 years old. It's probably gonna have a lot of momentum just by being 60. But what about year 61?
Can you
That's what likely
forecast
they're gonna
on
need
it?
more help in the
Yeah.
following year. Same with the races, like the half marathon. The spring one is the one I've seen decline the furthest, and they've never actually got any funding from us to promote their races.
Well, and if you're building capacity for them to do.
Yeah.
more, like it-
Yeah.
And it gets back to what
And the more money
what is
we
our goal?
make,
Is our
the more
goal
money
to
we
help
have to
support?
give.
Is our goal to help support? I mean, I think that when the grant was $60,000, I think it might have been a little bit more to support smaller, smaller events.
Yeah.
What we're looking for, I think, is to bring people in. I mean, we're trying to use this to actually to affect change.
Yeah.
And I think that if that's what we're doing, I mean, I would look at people like, that are running the races at Jeep Safari, all these partners that we already have as great people who already know the market. And they're gonna help build on.
When we can do both.
And maybe they can
Absolutely.
grow more
Yeah.
events.
It's not to say that we have to do one or the other. There's the opportunity.
Like
Yeah.
Easter Jeep Safari, maybe they could grow the September cookout one, which is definitely lower in numbers. That, again, that's Jeep related, they're proven. They're a great event.
So for the
Okay.
reporting requirements, do you have a spreadsheet that can correspond to that? Or the one you were talking about, that we can kind of maybe copy or get from the state? So that we can go, how you have
So I guess where I was thinking after.
you have the marketing spreadsheet, or like this is.
Budget.
Right, so you could go by line item, so, line two, you show. You can,
So you're using this as the report, the end report, spreadsheet?
I would say more of a template,
What's that?
a template, so. Like each attachment has to be titled in this manner, not that everyone will do that, but
Because this one is for the application.
that's their budget
Right.
spreadsheet.
Gotcha, yeah.
But you can go, like what Melissa was talking about was, okay, so for line two. Ad placement, I have the invoices, proof of payment, and then an example of the ad.
Would you be willing to take a stab at putting a spreadsheet together where that final report spreadsheet looks like?
I would say it's more of an instruction versus a
It's a what?
spreadsheet. Instruction.
Or, yeah, I mean, just what that looks like. Because we were looking at the final report that says. The final report. A complete and detailed final report, including a summary of expenditures and everything. Do we want to provide them with of how they do the matching? What's that? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, a
Yeah.
little bit of work right now might save compliance hours and hours and hours.
What's that?
So a little bit of work right now on creating something might save compliance hours and hours. If you just have to go through and go, look, all the boxes are checked.
Well, just a way that they also can, like you were talking about, is the proof of payment, the matching of payment.
All of it,
And how
yeah.
they're gonna submit all that, yeah. We can't really set the subcommittees here, but we can talk about what subcommittees we would need. And what we think that looks like. So we obviously need a subcommittee to review the preliminary applications to be able to bring to the board, the preliminary scoring.
Yeah.
And then have the board vote on those applications that are presented by the
So
subcommittee.
like the subcommittee's a clearinghouse basically to
Yeah,
Mhm.
eliminate.
Yeah.
so we would
Incomplete
need
applications.
one.
Yeah.
Any other?
Do
Committee
we wanna
assignments?
do we wanna do two?
I was gonna say, do we
Do we
need,
wanna do one in the spring and then one for the, I'm sorry, one in in the winter and one in the summer? So that all that weight's not landing on one group of people?
people don't get
And-
burned out?
What's that?
People don't get burned out.
Or just,
Or
it's
just,
just the signboard members.
or also, you know, you could look at it just distributing the work,
Yeah,
right? That the board's just distributing the work, everybody has,
Just
I mean,
good.
there's
yeah.
one person that would be able to hop off of it, basically, everybody else would be involved in
We have 9 people on the board now, so it should be
4 and 4.
4 and 4.
Yeah, you could split it up 4 and 4 if you wanted.
So I'll,
No, not commission, no. It'll be at the next meeting.
Bear in mind, we have a July
Still need to get
gap
the-
where
with that,
Background information.
what was that?
No.
no board
the
meeting in
term
July, so maybe we
for
could
him?
use the July meeting for
Or
this.
there-
I mean,
He's off cycle,
maybe.
Yeah,
so I just need to know, are we gonna have just one person that's basically off cycle?
Hmm.
Or are they gonna try to put him into a 2-year term,
yeah,
a 3-year term or something like that, kind of.
yeah.
I will revise this. As best I can and bring it to the next meeting. What I might do is Howard, Cora, or you guys, I guess, how many can I write to at once without? Can we, even emails or subject, so
Okay, yeah,
So I
send it
can-
on to me.
a couple of you, to, after I've done it, to get some, input. And then, what else do we need to do today? We've already talked about subcommittee timelines. Basically, at this stage, we're looking at getting this, application approved by the board on the 9th. And then live with the dates.
We'll
I'm
make
not
it
gonna
work.
repeat
We'll
them
squeeze it
again,
in this year.
but,
I repeated
what's that?
the other stuff.
Is it all, or are you?
And we only have, we're gonna do one subcommittee, but like basically, one subcommittee to do the preliminary review, but that subcommittee responsibility will change in the next.
Yeah.
From the January month, yeah. And Brian, is that all you kind of,
I'm just gonna send a message to,
and if we can start to, or Brian, I don't know who does that. To look at how this is gonna be managed, who's gonna manage it,
That's a big question.
yeah, it's a big one.
Ideally, when we have a director.
And also, well, yes, and also who is going to, distribution of funds,
and that's the December 9th meeting.
yes. I will not be at that meeting, unfortunately. I will be nearby. I will be in court. Hearing well.
And I'll make sure that Madden,
You probably don't.
or at least
Yeah.
request that Madden,
Yeah, exactly, yeah. No, I have to,
Later.
yeah,
yeah.
are invited. So we'll invite Madden and Camp Stories to the next meeting so that they can go ahead and start.
Yep.
At least getting the initial advertising. Is it something that you think that we're going to, the advertising, is that something that we're going to want to continue? Or is this just a initial blast of awareness?
I think we need to review that.
Yeah.
Did they do a good job? Did we actually get what we wanted? And then go from there.
Yeah, it's potential to advertising and it's there. For sure.
And that might be a question that you wanna add to your application. Where did you find out about it?
Yeah.
How did you hear about it?
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good.
I will.
how do you find out about it?
Yeah.
Right.
Great. Thank you, Melissa, for all your
I
wonderful insight.
didn't do anything, but I'm happy to
Always
help.
bring, I always bring the, I would love having your,
That extra brain.
I know, yeah, exactly.
Especially if that's pretty.
Can you, close the, so, it's 5:02 PM workshop is adjourned.
Thank you. It's actually, you want?
Thanksgiving?
You want to have that question?
No.
No,
Even the brunches, this one too.
Yeah.
so you guys were, remember 2.5 years
The
ago.
radio station.
It's now.
These having,
You know, we just do our own,
And
like, local French. Yeah. Especially in the winter. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's not free or anything, but like, we used to do a free Wabi, we would donate the Wabi.
You're not driving the meeting.
Well, obviously,
So I stopped the recording. I think you're gonna have to stop.
And we did that for 2 or 3
What'd you
years.
plan?
And then Wabi Sabi kind of did away with a lot of their food stuffs, which is fine. And, but I really liked the vibe from that. So that's where I created the Jet 98. So it's like a local food brunch at 98, but only December. So it's just. Yeah, well, and it's,
Well, there's fun.
that's the vibe of it.
We had
Other times of the year, and it's,